So just before the video does start, just a quick little ad on a trading service I offer over on Twitch. I do daily trading guides including loads of price sheets for special card trading, silver trading and so on and so on. And you get them daily over there for £5 a month or free with Amazon Prime. Yo, what's up guys, and welcome to a brand new video. So, believe it or not, we've gone and uploaded. Now the reason I actually haven't uploaded is not because I've been being lazy or I've been lacking on things. Maybe I should have dedicated more time. But really what I've been working on is actually getting better at trading. Now, although I do back myself being, relatively decent, been trading for like 6-7 years or whatever, there's still a lot of stuff I don't madly understand. Let it be icon trading, let it be Thursday flipping, let it be just looking a lot more at the market. So I've just spent about the last 2 weeks kind of just getting better at trading and just understanding more about the market. Because although I say, I know my silver method, I know special cards, I get the fodder, there's actually still a lot for me to go out and learn. So I've actually kind of just been doing that in the last 2 weeks, just spending loads and loads of time learning new stuff. As you can see, icons on your screen, probably before before January, I would never have touched icons. Likewise with a lot of these special cards. So I've basically been trying to learn as much as possible, as much new stuff as possible, so that I can provide you guys videos like this, which I wouldn't have normally made, which are kind of like analysing the market and, looking through a few things that I wouldn't normally do. So today's video is going to be about future stars. Now, there's quite a lot of interesting stuff to talk about future stars. I am going to go through the trends we've seen at the moment, the trends I'm predicting, when to go and buy the future stars, how the future stars should rise with certain outcomes and certain positions, and which are the best future stars to invest in, which is something I'm sure you guys will be interested into. So, without further ado, let's have a look at these relatively, 50-50 if people like the cards. I do quite like Future Stars promo, I'll be honest with you. I always like an innovative promo, which makes it more interesting. And one of my favourite things about Future Stars, actually, and one of the reasons why I think a lot of them are so expensive, on top of them being rare, is they make completely useless cards in FIFA usable. And that's one of the reasons I think they're so expensive, because you don't have another Greenwood to go and try. You don't have another Rodrigo. The only time you can try these cards is in this form, really. Like, none of these have special cards. So I really like him, and obviously, Maceo when it's with Mr. Mason Mount getting one, which is, I guess, cool as such. But, what we did actually day one of these, we actually went and invested 15 million coins into them. As I said, I've been kind of learning new stuff, and, I don't know, a bit of a psycho when it comes down. Like, if I go and invest 15, now I invest about 15 million 10 minutes in, because obviously we see promo after promo after promo, 10 minutes in, rise and rise and rise, and I thought, well, if I invest 15 million, I'm either going to learn an expensive lesson, or I might make a good bit of money and learn a lesson via the good way. So I went and invested 15 million into the likes of Kamara for 180 to 200, the likes of Dembele for 150 to 160, and the likes of Aarons for 105 to 115. And they went really, really well, actually. Now, one of the top guys, Quinn, actually backs them doing quite well because the servers were down, But as the trends after trends after trends that these cards have risen, who knows? But so I did quite well. Now, how did I initially actually know how to buy these cards? Is I use a little tactic where what you do is you add a bunch of them to your transfer targets, so it's like the watch list as such. And then when they sell on, you kind of be like, okay, well, there's quite a lot of people buying at 180. And we'll use Kamara for an example. So I did a bunch for 180. And then they all sold on. Then I searched, it was going for about 170, 180. So I did all them, and then they all sold on. And at that point, you're about 5-10 minutes in, you're like, okay, it's probably going rate at least it's going to be 180. So I went hammer about 180 to kind of about 190 to even 200k at the end, and then ended up flipping them all for 235. So we did quite well with these cards. So, so far they've, they were, high obviously day one, plateaued out day two, and been dropping since. So that's kind of like catching you up to the point we're at. Let's go and have a little look at where they have been, and what we're going to do is we're going to be comparing them to last year's. So far we saw day one and day two. You see this cross cards. There's a few exceptions, maybe like a Martinelli and such. Is day one and day two have the exact same price, give or take. We then come on to day three, and they're going to be dropping about 10%, and then we come to day four, and they're dropping yet another 10%. And it'd be very interesting if I told you these were literally the exact trends of last year. So we've got the likes of Kai Havertz right here. And I'm going to go and show you and zoom into Kai Havertz's graph right here by replacing the 9 with a 2. And we've got day 1 and day 2 very, very similar. Now, 560k, so about 56k is 10%. Let's see. So if he drops to close to 500k, that means that he's followed the same trend. He's kind of mugged me off a little bit. But he's dropped still nonetheless about 8% day 1. And again, if he's going to drop again another 10%, we are going to go and see this card obviously drop to just under 500, which near enough he does. So it doesn't madly fit my, well, no, it does fit my agenda, but it doesn't fit the statistics, matching. But you can't madly expect that. So again, so far they followed the exact same trend. And you may wonder if that's all current through, or if that's common through. And we'll go and check this with Jovic once again. Going to go zoom in. Day 1, day 2. In fact, he actually went up. And then you got the Sunday. You want to drop 10k. That doesn't help so much. But if you move on to day 2, and there we go. That's where you can see him dropping 10%. And as I say, you just kept dropping there till rewards. Thursday, Friday. And again, we can go and check that with the likes of Kai Havertz, who again became the cheapest Thursday and Friday. So, it's kind of answered a few of your questions. These cards should really, today onwards, kind of be the same sort of price they are now, but on Thursday, Friday, but maybe drop about 5-10%. Unless it's one of the top dogs. And that is why we're looking at Vinicius Jr. If we have a Vinicius Jr. right here for you. Now, Vinicius Jr. obviously was way more than the others at about 400-500, and he was going for about 1.2. And instead of seeing, we still saw a very heavy drop. In fact, we're seeing a drop right there of about 10%. I think that's even probably closer to 20% right there. Now we're going to see an even bigger drop on not even bigger drop, but a continuous drop between Thursday, Friday, and so on. And as a result, it's going to become the cheapest on the Friday, Saturday. Well, basically on Friday, which is the common trend. So when to buy these cards? I would back buying them on Friday. But again, if there are some insane fluctuations on some of the cheaper cards, do look to invest in them. I mean, that means drop like 10% off what they should really be. So let's say, for example, you have a player, the price of Jovic, right? And let's say Jovic's going for about 220. If he spontaneously just drops to about 200k one day, just look at probably buying him, because you can see right here, even though he kept dropping, because you do see weird spontaneous drops like that, you'll still be getting him cheaper than the average cheapest. So again, Thursday, Friday, I'd say about Thursday after 6 PM content would be good. Friday would be good. Now here's the lovely trend, and that's the trend on these cards banging. Like, we're looking right here, this is the weekend league, this is the weekend. This is what I basically say is it's the weekend league after they bang. So this is the weekend league of them being in packs, and then progressively over the weekend and going into next week is when these cards will peak about 170. Now, a very interesting thing about this is that it's very close to what they were day 1, and believe it or not, this is a trend that follows. So they are getting cheap on the Thursday. And what they're going to do, they're going to rise all the way up here and peak at the weekend league after, which again is very similar to their day 1 price. And I think, is that all we have for you? Maybe look at the likes of Vinicius Jr. again. Again, we've got here the weekend league, and then we have the weekend league after, which he's already up to 1.5. Now, obviously, this is nowhere near what he was prior, but obviously the supply of him has become so much that there's nowhere near as much demand compared to supply. But actually, if you were to actually wait for the weekend league after, he would also do even better at that. So basically, the more weekend leagues you hold on to these cards that we don't get big content, which I'll be talking about in a second, the better these cards would do. If I was you, I would literally sell them next Thursday, because Friday is normally the content day. So we'll jump back over and look at these cards. Now, how have this year's trends been compared to last year's trends? Now, I've compared quite a lot of teams. For example, you got Scream 1 of this year compared to Scream 2 of Scream 1, because basically we have 2 teams this year, of like Scream Team 1, Scream Team 2, which kind of messes it up comparing it to last year a little bit, but we still see very similar trends. Again, I've been comparing Scream, Road to the Final, and Headliners, all promos that have 2 teams, and a lot of them follow the exact same trends as the teams of FIFA 19. So I would be relatively hopeful that Future Stars would do that as well. Now, I'd say they've already followed the trends of them dropping, so it'd be very interesting to see if they follow the trends of rising. So again, you're buying on the Thursday. Now, things that will affect this. There's a fair bit going into it. So we've got, and the main one literally being middle icon SBCs. Because when there's middle icon SBCs, the whole market, given that these aren't too badly priced, it should be dropping. Because people just want to open packs, they're watching people open packs. So that is the one thing that will probably stump them rising, which is probably why I'd only hold on to these until next Thursday. Because we're likely, if we do get a middle icon SBC, to be on a Friday, because Fridays are the main day for content, it means you're decreasing the chance of them being middle icon SBCs and them dropping as such. So what I do is I'm going to go and buy Thursday and Friday this week, and then I'm going to hold on to them all the way until next week in league and sell them off. Which Future Stars are the best to go with? Now, what I showed you earlier in the video is the trend of, if I can find one of them, I'll get Jovic up, but the trend of them rising back up to the price they were basically day 1. Again, we see this happen with everyone apart from the super expensive ones. So as a result, the trend that I'm going to go, well, the trend I'm going to go and follow is this. So as a result, I'm going to be looking at players who were a lot on either the Friday or Saturday, and then going to be buying them on the Friday or whoever has dropped the highest percentage. Now, I do have a little notepad on the players that have dropped the highest percentage. And this was as of numbers this morning. So Dominguez dropped 27%. Let me go and get your team up right now. Dominguez dropped 27%. Martinez, the Ajax guy right here, went and dropped 24%. Dembele, the striker from Lille, went and dropped 21%. Karma went and dropped 21%. Tonali dropped 17%. And Martinelli dropped 33%. So, what would I recommend investing in? I would probably run Dominguez, because he dropped a very high percentage. It also shows there's a lot of good demand for him. I'd also, if you had a little bit of money, you know, got a few mil, I'd also go and buy a few Martinelli. Extremely rare that a player drops 33%. Like that is, well, sorry, extremely rare in this bunch right here that a player drops that much, which is, you know, pretty worth a punt or two. Obviously, as you saw last time, the expensive players didn't rebound. Like, you know, the Vinicius Jr. didn't rebound to the price he was last time, but nonetheless, you know, they're going to drop it. Well, they're going to rise back up a certain percentage. And that's what we'll be doing is I will be doing this on Thursday, comparing the prices they were averaging out on the Friday, Sunday, comparing to the prices they do drop on rewards. Now, the thing with rewards is you don't actually have to worry about buying super fast. Unless the cards have dropped a very high percentage, you don't have to worry about buying fast, because the cards are actually sometimes cheaper on the Friday than the Thursday, which means they didn't bang after rewards on Thursday and then drop down on Friday. It pretty means they plateaued out and stayed relatively cheap on the Thursday. Which means, again, there's no hurry. You know, hey, if they go up on the Thursday, hey, you could just wait till Friday and hope that is the play. So my plan of action is I've made quite a few pre-team of the week investments in the likes of, I guess, the majority are on my unassigned right now. Quite a lot of inform insignies for the likes of for the likes of a inform Immobile. Going for some informed Szczesny's and some Sandros for the likes of a informed De Ligt. And I've got invested in a bunch of one-to-watch Sarabias on the transfer targets. So the plan of action will be to sell them on the Thursday, and then once I've sold them on, to go and look to reinvest in these future stars, potentially after the 6 PM content drop, and then I'm going to hold on to them all the way until the following Thursday and sell before 6 PM of the following Thursday, and hope, because again, if we go and get our middle icon pack this Friday, we'll kind of scuff these up. But yeah, hope that we don't have a middle icon pack this week, because again, that will scuff the investment. So hopefully that has helped you guys understand what is going to happen with these cards. I'm sorry, what happens with future stars? Again, the more weekend leagues we don't get anything, the more they rise. But again, we've got one to watch, we've got winter upgrades, we've got a few promos, well, potentially in the next weeks, especially with the ones watchers, which should scuff their prices a little bit. So I'd recommend selling next Thursday. You know, if they drop loads of weekend league sell-off the Sunday, Monday, you can go and look at buying again. So that is going to have that done for the likes of future stars. Again, look at buying them on the Thursday, Friday. Look at the players who've dropped the highest percentage. And yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you very much for watching the video. Hopefully it has going to help you. Of course, make sure you head over to my Twitch stream to get live, just live Q&A whenever. And yeah, thanks for watching, and the uploads will start rolling out a little bit more frequently.